Okay, for today's video, we're going to be identifying assets and liabilities. So I do have some vocabulary words up above. An asset is something that you own. But it's already paid off. You don't owe any money towards it. A liability, liabilities are debts that you owe. So for example, if you took out a loan from the bank, that's a liability because you don't actually own it. Then net worth. So what is your net worth? It's the difference between your assets and your liabilities. So you would calculate what your total assets are, and you would subtract it with the total of your liabilities, and you would see how much then basically you are worth. So when you see it saying paid off versus pay off, well, paid off is something that is already paid off, therefore you own it, so that would be considered an asset. And something that you need to pay off, it's something you don't own because you're paying it off, then that would be a liability. Now for the problems, it says the table shows some of Max's assets and liabilities. We're going to label the table with A for asset and L for liability. Remember, an asset is something you own, you completely have paid it off, but a liability is something you still have to pay for because you never purchased the whole entire thing with your own money. Okay, so the table shows some of Max's assets and liabilities. Assets are things that you own. Liabilities are things you do not own and you owe money towards. Okay, so we're going to label A and L. First one says cash and savings. Well, if it's cash, that means you have it, that's yours, you own it, so that would be an asset. Credit card debt, well, that's money you owe to someone, so that's going to be considered a liability. Furniture, it says that you own it, so that's going to be an asset. A student loan, well, any kind of loan, it's something you don't own it, so therefore it's a liability. You're paying that back to somebody. A car, this says it's paid off, so if it's paid off, you own it, making it an asset. Clothes, well, you buy the clothes, so you own the clothes, they're not somebody else's, so those are assets. Now we're going to go ahead and add up all of our assets and the liabilities, because it wants the total of assets, the total of liabilities. And once I added each of them up, I got $2,958 are Max's assets, and $3,095 is the total of Max's liabilities. This one right here, you want it to be less. You want more of your assets. So this looks like his net worth is not looking good for him. Moving on, the next one says the table shows several of Jenny's assets and liabilities. So on this one, we're going to break the table apart the same way we did with Max's into assets, things that he owns, and liabilities, things that he owes or has to pay off. So when we look at the first part, it says we have the house. It's a payoff, so he's still paying it, or she's still paying it off. So if she's paying it off, she does not own it, that makes it a liability. Then we have the car. The car is paid off, so if it's paid off, that would be an asset because she owns it. Cash, well, that she owns the cash. It's hers in her pocket. Savings, that's the money that she has set aside, so that's her money. Next one, borrowed from her parents. She borrowed $2,680 from her parents. That's not her money, so since it's not her money, she owes her parents that. That's a liability. And the last part, it says jewelry. She owns it, And if she owns it, that makes it an asset. Now I'm going to total up her assets. And I totaled up her liabilities. I got $12,043.65 are her assets, the items she owns, and her liabilities came out to $35,375. So again, her liabilities are more than her assets, so that's always something to keep an eye on. So one more time, an asset is something you own, something that is paid off. A liability is something that you owe or something you have to still pay off. Good luck on today's assignment.